Okay.
That's our display exhaust. We can't sell it, but we can certainly sell you a new one, and they range between, I think, the Catback, we're just talking about the Catback, starts at about 1,100. If we start factoring like downpipe or J-pipe and then up pipe, different exhaust components, then it kind of goes up from there. But that's what the stage packages are good for. You can get all of the kit and at a discounted price altogether. So we're not going to be selling you these, but we can certainly sell you some.
FMIC.
FII. We knew we were going to get a lot of front mount questions. I'm not going to go into huge detail about it. All I'm going to say for now is it's getting there. We'd like to do a holiday release. That would be absolutely excellent. But we usually don't like to rush products through, and that's a great example of one that we don't want to just push out to market. We're definitely not the first ones to have it out there, so we're not in a huge rush. We basically just want to perfect it. And right now, we're right in the middle of sort of finalized fitment testing, getting all of the data and everything that we usually do for new product releases. So again, not rushing it, but very soon. If you're kind of on the cusp of getting a front mount, I would hold out a couple months.
All right, guys. We're live on
YouTube!
YouTube.
YouTube! Hey, if you're watching us on Instagram, you can hop on YouTube Live now. It works. And you'll get a little bit of a better kind of wide angle view, especially when we start playing Dirt. And if you have two devices, hop on both of them so we get more viewers. That would be awesome.
We'll still be on Instagram though, so if you have questions.
Yeah, of course we're going to be on Instagram. Hit us with more questions. Woo.
There's something about eating on camera that feels weird to me, but
See, I eat on camera almost every night.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're
Web guy.
web guy.
Mukbang. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mukbang? Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Alright,
No,
I got a
that's-
question for you, Art.
You got a question for me?
Yeah. What does the loser of the leaderboard get, and what does the winner get?
The loser has to eat the pizza box, and the winner watches the loser eat the pizza box. I think that's pretty fair.
I'll take it.
Okay. No, we'll put some actual consequences up for the loser, I think, which will inevitably be me. I don't really play video games that much. I know people are going to hate me for it. Actually, I'm going to date myself here. The last video game I played religiously was Final Fantasy VII, which
Not bad.
Nugs.
well, no, Counter-Strike,
mean-
maybe Counter-Strike. Do we have some Counter-Strike and Final Fantasy VII throwbacks out there?
at
Let's
that
run
time,
this.
once you've gotten there, there's
There's
nowhere else to
There
go.
hasn't been a better video game, and the remake's coming out. I know that's not car related, but look it up if you haven't.
Alright, got one.
Awesome.
19 Subaru STI. This isn't a question, but I wanted to shout them out.
Mm-hmm.
Heading out in a bit to surprise the kids with the wife's new to her 17 STI to go with my
What?
19 STI.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Family affair.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. We want to see some pictures of that once the moment happens. So
Yeah.
snap some off and DM us.
Tag us.
Yeah. And speaking of DMing us, we get tons of DMs every day for sponsorship stuff, for questions, mentions, stuff like that. So keep putting them in. We love talking to you guys. And also keep tagging us in your posts, especially if you do like a story, we can re-mention it, and we typically do. If you have a grocery product, something new arrives at your door, or you're just getting some footage of like our exhaust, make sure to tag us in it, because then we can repost you, and then you can get Instagram famous potentially.
Alrighty. Okay, Murder WRX. Any plans for a single exit exhaust for 2015 plus WRXCI?
I don't believe so. No immediate plans. We'll say no immediate plans because we always have a list of 100 things that we could do. So you never know. We come back Monday and we might greenlight a project that we haven't had. But as of right now, there's not an immediate plan for it. We personally like the look of the dual tip and, well, I suppose quad tip, 2 exit. And a single one, you'd probably have to make it sizably larger, say 4-inch, 4.5, even a 5-inch tip, and then it becomes a little bit less refined for us. So we like to have that kind of OEM look, but upgraded, which is what our Catback is now.
I want pizza.
You want pizza?
Dude.
Aw.
We're all out, sorry.
Oh no.
You don't get any because it's been so long.
How many people do we have now?
We only have cardboard for you to eat.
Yes, I'm trying to get the slice.
We have 27 people watching, so
Alright.
thank you for those.
More, we need more.
What about you?
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be coming
10
on.
on YouTube.
That beats our record from yesterday.
Hey, this is a question from me too. More engine bay caps to match the new oil cap.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
When you say new oil cap, are you talking about the Delrin Cool Touch version 2? Because I hope you are. We came out with the Bolt not too long ago. Yeah, I'll grab some. So,
Oh, buddy, come on.
yeah, we're focusing a little bit more on doing performance stuff, obviously, like we always do, but some aesthetics as well. I would say we do have some things on the list that kind of match up, or at least complement the parts we've put out. But we've got pretty heavy on aesthetic stuff already, between like the new battery tie downs, some of the new shrouds for 15 plus, and then fender shrouds, of course. Those have been huge, popular sellers. And then between the Bolt and the version 2 Cool Touch cap, we've had stuff coming out, but there will always be more. Tony, how was your Tecate?
Light.
Light? Oh, it is light.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's alright.
I'm sorry.
It's
So
not bad.
there are many questions just about what we're gonna be coming out with.
Mm-hmm.
Any dual exhaust wheel for FXT? Not right now. We don't have any.
No, so our catbacks start at 08 plus, and there's a reason for that, because a lot of the older models are just beginning to get pretty cheap. You know, what's a 5-speed FXT now? $4, $5, $6 grand, something like that. So we're talking about an $1,100, $1,300 exhaust for that. Not as many people are buying it. Obviously, there are people like me. I've got an 04 FXT, and I buy very expensive parts for it, but I'm kind of the minority in that. So it could be a little bit of a hard sell. And from the materials we use, the manufacturing, the welding, all of that, our costs are just inevitably higher than other manufacturers that do it outside of the country or use like robot welding, things like that. So it's just it's not that we can't make the product. It's just the demand may not actually be there, but that doesn't mean we won't ever put it out. When we get a little bit of a gap in our schedule, that might be a good time for it.
All right. What kind of pizza we got? We're gonna be lame today. We got cheese and pepperoni.
Okay, we really phoned it in last minute with cheese and
Yeah.
pepperoni. We have a bunch of good
Still
pizza
good.
places next to us, but we just didn't have the time. So next time we do a live session, we'll order something more extravagant. You guys have ideas for what we should do?
We'll eat anything, just so you
Mesa?
know.
Mesa, yes. Mesa
Luce.
Pizza, if anyone's local here, probably knows.
Luce?
Anybody
Pizza
know?
Luce is awesome. I don't think Pizza Luce is just Midwest either.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're.
I feel like
Yeah, I've seen them on the West Coast.
Pizza Luce.
Do you have Pizza Luce, guys?
Let us
Anywhere
know.
that isn't the Midwest?
Korean barbecue would be good too. I don't know if we
That
can
would
do
be
it
a very difficult.
A very
food to
di-
eat.
well,
Do you want
they-
sitting around a hot pot, just all
Oh,
squeezed?
we'll never know.
What other
They make
foods
grills
can
that
we
could
eat?
Put on the table.
That's
It's
true.
very complicated. though.
Okay, we got buffalo wings. We got vodka pizza.
Vodka pizza. Well, we could do that now. Just go get the vodka. It's in my drawer at my
I
desk.
thought we were hiding that.
All right.
Headers.
Headers. That's on the to-do list, but I wouldn't expect it this year, that's for sure. It's another one of those products that we've been wanting to do for years, and just other things get in the way in terms of priority. So it's not like we can't do them, we have the capabilities for it, but we'll see. Time will tell on that one. If one of our engineers was here, we'd ask them, but
They ran away.
yeah, the engineers, 4:59 on a Friday, they're gone.
Here's one off YouTube.
Hey, I got a YouTube one.
Off-the-shelf map for your intake. Sorry if I already asked. This is one we get frequently, so I feel like we may as well address it.
This would be another good one for an engineer because they can go a little bit more technical with it. But generally for any aftermarket intake, you do want to tune in for that specific intake. I mean, running off the shelf map is better than not doing anything, running tuneless. But all intakes are different between a Cobb intake that's meant for their off-the-shelf map versus one of ours versus AEM or whoever. They're all a little bit different. Small differences make a big change. So the piping diameter, the bend angle, the way the filter's set up, the venturi on it, all that stuff makes a huge difference. So moral of the story is I would not run an intake tuneless, especially on a new age turbo Subaru, and I would prefer to pro tune for a specific intake. You're going to make more power and do it much more reliably, safely on your motor. And we're talking about $30,000+ vehicles, and an intake that's between $250 and $400. Get a tune because it's not worth it. It's not worth blowing up your $4,000 or $5,000 motor.
You got an old car, blow it up.
Yeah, please blow the old cars up. We don't care about those.
Then buy the new car, then buy our parts.
Yay! That's a good idea.
Science.
All right. Good question though. I feel like we get that one a lot. There's
Get
a
it-
lot of
get it right
misconception
out
on
of
the
you.
internet for it,
Yeah.
where guys will say don't tune for an intake, but we do not recommend that.
So we got one person said 3 meat, Supreme Hawaiian, and spicy buffalo chicken. Where you get it doesn't matter.
Wow, that is oddly specific,
Yeah.
and I like it.
I
We
like
might have to do
Hawaiian.
that specific thing. Wait, Hawaiian pizza? No, I gotta disagree with that one.
All right.
Yeah.
No Hawaiian pizza.
I don't mind the
I'm
pineapple,
allergic to
but
pineapples, so
We can do Hawaiian pizza with pineapple on the side,
yes.
away from the pizza in a different room.
In a
I've
can.
seen
In a can.
At the grocery store.
Yes, nowhere near
in the
us.
trash.
Pineapple can be in the back in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Princess Di, the STI, you have some great questions. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. What else?
How do you guys feel about the change in platform on the STI? Has that affected how you guys address the needs of customers, and if so, how?
That is such a great question.
Yeah.
Are we paying this person to ask such
I
great
hope
questions?
so.
So,
Who is this?
if you're
Princess
talking
Di,
about the
STI.
15 plus platform change, then it's been really good actually because they've been so popular, both WRX and STI. If you're talking about like the upcoming 2021 STI with the new FA motor, the rumored FA motor, that's a little bit of a different story. I don't know what that's going to bring, but presumably it'll be good changes, just like we saw from GR 08 to 14 generation onto 15 plus. But yeah, it's been nothing but positive. The other big thing with STIs is EJ motors, so lots of switchover. If it's not chassis specific, then the engine stuff has been mostly the same. So manufacturing development for us is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sound good.
Huh? I was gonna turn it down.
This is a question that I get a lot in the support email here. Why is the GrimmSpeed Team intercooler regarded as the best for the FA20 DAT? What makes it so special?
Well, it's the amount of time in engineering, R&D, all of that. So this kind of goes back to when I was talking about the front mount intercooler and how much time we put into it. Obviously, we're not the front runners and having a front mount intercooler first to market kind of thing. That's because we take the time and do the proper testing. And with intercoolers in particular, it's what core you use. So we'll pick up maybe 10, 15 cores and we'll test them all out. So we'll have different end tank designs, we'll have different core designs, internals are different, and then we'll run tests through all of that until we pick the most optimal one for that specific car. And it's different if you look at like our STI intercooler versus our GR WRX versus an Outback or Legacy one, and then the 15 plus WRX. They all have similar but different cores, and that's because they optimize that specific engine and vehicle. So really, the trick is plenty of R&D time and researching the best one. Otherwise, you end up with something like an eBay unit that they just want to get out there in your hands. It's cheap, put it in there, it doesn't work very well, and then you end up buying a better one anyway down the line.
All right, 3 questions.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And
Before
one.
we do the questions, I do want to mention, now that we have people coming in, we do have a new product release. It's the Delrin version 2 oil cap. Got one right here. We're going to be doing a giveaway on one of these babies during the live session, so stick around. If you haven't gone on our Instagram, we have a post from yesterday with the new product release, and basically you just have to tag a friend in it, like the post, follow our page, and then we're going to choose a random person from that to win this oil cap. So it'll be here at some point, so you got to keep watching and asking questions. Wait, we have more pepperoni?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought
I'm
we were out.
offended over here.
Heck yeah. Okay, three more questions? Is that what I hear?
Yes, so we got 3 questions in one. Can you guys make headers, or have you thought about
We
making
already
headers?
talked about that. We've thought about them. They're on the list. We could potentially make them. We might not. We don't know yet. That's the quick answer.
Skid plates.
Skid plates.
Ooh.
We've traditionally not done a whole lot of like off-road type stuff, so skid plates would be very easy for us to make, but we just haven't really added that to our product line because it doesn't vibe with the other stuff. I would say if we do end up doing more off-roady type stuff, or maybe like cross-trek things, I don't know, then we can consider a little bit more, but not yet.
Those cross tracks are slick.
They are slick. My mom has one, and she gave the birth to me, and
Your
so
mom is pretty cool.
she definitely has good taste.
I'd say the cross track more so than use it.
I heard there was a big recall across the
There's a recall on everything. Subaru. They just recalled like 400,000 cars for some sort of safety issue, but it's also overblown. So Subaru recalls you hear a lot about because they're such a prevalent brand. It happens to everyone.
And
especially
hailed
American.
as like
safe.
Safe,
And,
yeah.
So recalls happen all the time. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Except they never did a recall on the GR, STI, WRX clutch pedal weld brake situation, which is just stupid.
Ask Doug about that.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got WRX-CNJ again.
Wait, is this the third question?
No.
Because I only did 2 questions in the other one. You said there was 3.
Well, it was 3 in 1 because 3 people asked about.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. Okay.
Here you go. Here's
I need the
something more
oil
sweet.
cap so hot, but it'll actually be pretty cool.
So hard. Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
That is a good transition into talking about the oil cap once more. Because it's a new product and we have to push it. It's made out of Delrin, which if you don't know what Delrin is, it's a hard plastic material and it's heat resistant. So you use it for anything that you don't want to soak up heat. Oil cap is a good thing to do, and we do it in our shift knobs as well. So if it's like a hot day, you're not gripping a hot shifter. So the oil caps, it's great for, especially if you're, well, Subaru owner and you have to fill up your oil every once in a while. It's great for that. Or if you have like a track car, race car, and you need to top off the oil between runs or sessions or whatever, it stays nice and cool. Do we have any more YouTube questions? Corey, you're monitoring that?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, nothing has come
Okay.
in yet.
I should.
I'm just making it look less like I have a mullet.
So Corey is fixing up his hair a little bit. He's doing the Last Samurai type thing.
Yeah. But through the hat like a soccer
But
mom.
through the hat like a soccer mom. And if you're new on here, we're also streaming live on YouTube. Hop on there, like our page, subscribe to our page, and ask us some questions on there too, because we want some more subscribers.
Alright.
Yeah, you're driving a Mini.
Muteki
This is the same
STI
map that-
said,
Yeah, it's the
where are
same
my
map.
cards? I haven't got them. Why? Well, email support@grimmspeed.com and I'll take care of you. I don't know why. If
Yes.
You ordered,
Give us more details. When did you
Yes.
order it? Is it on back order? Did you order directly from us? What parts is it? So on and so forth. But Sandra will take care of you. We are known for our good customer service, and the other side of that is shipping things really quickly. Being able to get things out the door the same day, especially like on a Friday, we were still shipping stuff at 3:30, 4 o'clock while they were picking up. So some stuff's en route. If you order today, it's probably heading your way.
Aw.
Exactly.
Alright, so we got
Pass the pizza.
No. Wow.
be quiet. Do your exhaust systems handle 600 plus horsepower?
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have cars out there, especially race cars, running 600 plus. So I know of a Forester especially that was running, it was our downpipe, our uppipe, our intercooler, and that was at 717. We don't make catbacks for those, so it wasn't running one of our catbacks, but there's plenty of cars that are. So yes, we do a 3-inch exhaust system all the way through. There's no bottlenecks. So great for a car that's pushing a bunch of power. Especially if you're stock location turbo and you're still pushing really great power, it all fits for that. We don't do like rotated stuff, but plenty of high power stock location turbo Subarus.
Here's one from
YouTube.
From YouTube, yeah. Well, first,
I'm so excited about it.
David Ayala says, "Donde está la biblioteca?" Which means where's the library?
Yes.
Don't
It's-
know.
It's actually pretty close to here, but we're not going to go there today.
Eddie's WRX says,
Yay.
"Great seeing you guys in California at SubiFest."
Great seeing you there too. SWX has been a long-time supporter of ours, Clinton and myself. I've chatted with him many times.
Been around
Great
for a
guy.
while.
Thank you for the big support. But yeah, SubiFest California, we just came back from that. If any of you guys were out there, message your impressions of it. Did you like it? I thought it was one of the funnest events of this year. We do all of the Subi events, so the East Coast, West Coast, and then Midwest events, and I guess Florida would fall under East Coast, but we still have Florida, SubiFest Florida coming up. But awesome event, awesome weather, great people, super cool cars.
The shirt is cool.
What do you think about
shirt,
Subaru
that
Florida? What do you think that's going to be like?
I think there's going to be a lot of gators, and I'm kind of a little afraid of that. Like trying to sell stuff and then being attacked by gators and tornadoes.
And Florida man.
And Florida man.
You gotta
Oh
watch out for
no.
those Florida people.
Florida man. Is anyone from Florida and is planning to be at SubiFest in like what 3 weeks?
Might not
Less
know
than-
about it because it's such a new.
It's new. First time.
It's
Oh, I'm wearing my SubiFest California shirt.
Show it off. So every SubiFest has an event shirt, and they're usually pretty cool. But I think they went to the next level on
They taught
this
this
one.
one.
Yeah, there you go. More, take it off. You want to be famous, don't you?
And then it has the sponsors on the back.
That's the best shirt yet.
That is the best shirt yet. And if you're on either on YouTube or Instagram watching us live right now, we prefer if you're at home, you grab a beer and enjoy one with us because you had a hard work week.
You have Bohemian too?
Yeah, Bohemian's really good.
All right, I'm trying to find your external wastegate question.
Oh.
Nothing,
Sure. Yeah, grab a beer and enjoy the Friday evening.
all right, when does it become absolutely necessary to have an external wastegate?
Oh man, and that I think it's a little bit of a matter of perspective. Back in the day, external wastegates used to be kind of a race car thing. These days, a lot of people are doing it at their first tune. On the basis, especially with like an STI, it really maximizes how you can use your stock turbo. I won't go too heavily into external wastegates, but essentially, if you have your internal wastegate, it's very small. You're going to be limited in your boost pressure. So let's say that's 17, 18 pounds. You don't really know until you're on the dyno, you start pushing it up. So at that point, the internal wastegate just can't alleviate that pressure anymore, and so you have what you were probably heard of as boost creep or overboosting. An external wastegate gets rid of that issue, and you're able to push your stock turbo further or your aftermarket turbo further. So when is it absolutely necessary? It's kind of up to you. I did mine when I went to a larger turbocharger, so I got rid of my TD04 on my FXT. And then went to a Force Performance Turbo. I did it at that point. A lot of people still do it on their stock BF.
Alrighty, Muteki STI, I do understand your frustration. I am incredibly sorry about
Oh no, what?
the back ordered part where
What is it? Did he say what part?
I don't know, he didn't say
Okay.
which part, but I assume it might be, one of our silicone kits or, whatever's been back ordered. So
Yeah,
I
with-
apologize.
With Black Friday coming up, we've got a bunch of orders coming through, so we're kind of busier than ever. Don't let the beer pizza fool you. This is our busy season right now. So we've got some stuff on back order, not a whole lot. I know fender shrouds have been hugely popular, so we're trying to get those powder coated and engraved and everything out to you quick. The Wi-Fi kits as well. If you have one on order, apologize for the wait, and we'll get them out in the next couple of weeks probably.
Yeah.
If you guys have any specific items though, just email us, support@grimmspeed.com. We'll let you know what the ETA is, or if it's shipped or whatever when it's gonna arrive.
Shells on Instagram said,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Say the Instagram handle. YouTube.
WRXCNJ, some
Yes.
YouTube support. You people make the difference to the community. Never had a better experience with the company. Wish you guys great growth.
We should have brought a tissue box out
No.
here.
We're all out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like I said, we're kind of all about the customer service aspect of it. I mean, we wouldn't really be able to do our thing as a manufacturer if the customer service side didn't also vibe with that. And I think the biggest reason is we aim to hire people that are car enthusiasts. So we've all been through the process of buying a part, having something out of stock, having something damaged in shipping, not receiving the right thing. So we know how we want to be treated. I know when I order something from my Forester, I don't want it to, arrive damaged, but when it does, to be able to reach out to someone and fix the issue. So we kind of just take it on a personal level. So we appreciate that you recognize it. We'll keep it going for you. Promise.
Let's see. Any fender shrouds for 13WRX?
Not yet, but we may have some in the near future. We'll see. Wink, wink, wink.
If you're
Maybe.
lucky.
If you guys are lucky to keep asking for them.
Yeah.
Any plans for lift kits or any rally-inspired off-roading?
Ooh,
builds?
someone's speaking to my heart.
I would like to actually. Yeah, that'd be cool. Not as of right now, and that's basically because we're very busy. Again, with sort of holiday season, Black Friday coming up, and all of that, and the front mount development that we're working on, along with a bunch of little parts like the oil cap that we released. We just don't have a ton of time, but we could potentially in the future do an off-road program. We'll see. It just depends on a lot of factors.
The Wu-Tang.
The
He
Woo.
said, scroll up, please,
They're
because
nothing-
I missed his question. I'm sorry.
They're nothing to mess with.
I
Nothing to
got
heck with.
04 twin turbo, 1,000 horse, and I'm looking for that classic rumble and exhaust.
A classic Rumble and your 1,000 horsepower twin turbo STI. I assume it's an STI. Unequal length headers. Or buy a helicopter, I don't know. It's the same noise.
They got little generators with little Subaru motors in them now.
Yeah.
They get that. Failure generator. Get a little rumble going on.
Get an easier map.
Let's see. How
This is
did
the easiest.
No, it's not.
It's almost a straight
The
line.
track is like.
It's almost a straight
Does anyone
line.
out there
It's not-
play
it's not-
Dirt?
it's not true.
What is it, Dirt 2.0 Rally?
Dirt Rally 2.0.
Rally. It says on the leaderboard.
Because we're all awful at it, apparently.
It's
I
like
tried
a
to play it.
off-brand, like, I
Oh.
don't know.
What? No, this is not an off-brand.
Chinese video.
We have the Y box here that we're playing on. It's Dirt with a Y too.
Look at that Mini Cooper.
No one can see the Mini Cooper on Instagram, but if you hop on YouTube, you probably will. We have a more wide-angle situation going
You can see
there.
the side of the TV.
Is your battery
You
good?
can kind of see something.
Yeah.
All right.
More questions.
I have an FRS too, and this is I've been asking this question. for a
Subarus
year.
only.
Whoa, what's that sort of
I'm
conflict?
sorry.
What about
You
your
guys
side
call
on
it-
TC?
Come on, what's the question?
Any plans for Catback exhausts for a BRZ FRS?
We do have a, let's say, we'll call it prototype, but we don't have any immediate plans to release a Catback system just yet. I know they're coming out with the second generation of the BRZ FRS, so it could be a possibility with that. We're kind of waiting to see what it gets, if it's turboed, hopefully, fingers crossed, or if it gets a power bump or what have you. But we're kind of keeping that project on the back burner for now. What are you picking up off the floor? Is that on the
It's in a tire.
Ah, little rocks on the tires.
They're little sticks.
All right.
There are rocks, but there's no way I'm getting them out.
What are
Really?
y'all looking at when accepting sponsorships?
Ooh, okay. So in this day and age, what we would like you to have is obviously a car that's clean. It doesn't have to be crazy modded out. We do like to see something that isn't just stock. I mean, obviously a stock car has potential, but something that's kind of tastefully done, or at the very least you can send us a resume of, hey, this is my car that I already did, look how cool I made it, and here are my plans for the next one. The other thing that really helps is having a good social media presence. So, you know, for our side of things, the name of the game with sponsorship is advertising. So we want to partner with people that have strong Instagram, strong YouTube, Facebook following, let's say 5,000, 10,000 followers. That's always good because if we work with you on a product and let's say the oil cap, if we release that new product, we send it out to you, we want you to sort of be an ambassador for us. And so having a strong social media presence always helps, but that's not the whole of it. Really presenting yourself in a good way in a sponsorship application definitely goes a long way.
All right, got a fun question.
They've all been fun.
What are your dream cars or dream builds? And we'll start with Corey, I guess.
Sorry.
What is what?
What is what?
Dream car or dream build?
Oh God.
Only if you want to hear my answer.
No, make something up.
Okay.
It's a
Why?
my dream
Subaru.
build. I'm kind of doing it right now to an extent. So I have a. It's not a Subaru. I'm a Mazda guy.
Ooh.
I've had 7 Subarus,
Ooh,
so
this
I
man.
feel like I've achieved that, the respect of the Subaru guys. But
Oh.
I have a 1986 Mazda RX-7, and right now, this is probably going to make a lot of people mad. Putting an LS in it.
Woo!
But my dream build would be a 3-rotor FC RX-7.
That's gonna remain a dream because that would
It-
never run
yes.
very well.
Correct.
All right, Glenn, what's your dream car?
Don't lie. Be true.
Don't be true.
Be true.
All right. It's a weird one.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's Friday.
Tell the
We're drinking
Instagram
beer.
people. Tell them.
My dream build would be an Audi 1000 from the 70s.
Okay.
How would you
A
build
little
it?
Group B rally style, or
Well,
what?
you can keep
No.
it stock too if you like. I mean,
Yeah,
No.
A little resto
don't go
mod.
crazy.
I don't know what engine I put in it or anything. I just
LS
really
thing.
Well, you
like
can
it.
have his
You
LS.
Keep
after
the
it puts a
5-cylinder.
three-rotor.
What are you talking about? What engine I put in here?
LS
Okay.
the world, dog.
Let's move on to something exciting. My dream build. My dream build is about 6'3", like 230 pounds, a lot of delt, a lot of lats, just popping out of my extra small t-shirt. That's my dream build.
That's your dream build.
No,
or
my
it's
dream
the
build is-
build that you want to be with you.
Yeah, that's a good sized woman for me. My dream build is what I'm working on right now, my Forester. I have my Forester that still needs plenty of things, and then I have my Cressida. So I do really think those are dream builds for me because I picked them to invest a bunch of money into, a bunch of time, obviously. So I'm not one of these people that wants like the Lamborghini. That doesn't interest me. I actively avoid supercar excitement. It doesn't do anything for me. A 04 Forester with a bunch of stuff does it for me. Tony, what about you?
Solid axle swapped. 2008 plus Duramax.
He's a truck guy. Diesel.
I'm from Iowa. Don't hold it against me.
Go.
With my Honda Ruckus in the back. GY6 swapped, but with a tiny little turbo.
That truck would barely move. That's so heavy for that.
I know.
exercise.
That's why you gotta go with the diesel.
So diesel and the Ruckus.
Diesel and Ruckus.
Got it.
Never had this before.
And Sandra?
One that I'm on the edge of doing next winter. I'm not sure. A Coyote swapped BRZ or FRS. Don't even talk.
Okay.
Don't even talk.
I said LS.
Okay, so
We'll
the
play-
LS guy can race the Coyote swap.
Okay, listen here.
I will.
Let's say if I were to swap my car, okay, and I had the choice between an LS or a Coyote. Raise your hand if you'd want to see an LS in my car.
It'd be cool.
No, I'd rather see the Coyote.
Yeah, see?
Definitely.
Because it wouldn't fit.
It's more unique.
Got to.
All right.
It
What
would fit.
are people responding to our dream builds yet?
Not the dream builds, but we do have a couple questions.
Surprised my Audi.
This is YouTube.
The YouTube questions.
Okay.
Crash Burn on YouTube asks, Josh Pena, who's back? They both kind of have similar questions. Crash Burn asks, stainless steel heavy shift knob in black with GS logo.
Ooh.
And then Josh Pena asks, any plans for more color options for the shift knobs?
Okay, so shift knobs. We can see ourselves doing limited runs every once in a while. So the heavyweight ones are stainless, which means you could powder coat it. And then the Delrin ones are the lightweight. You can technically add like a coloring to the Delrin, but usually it's black. That's why you see our shift knobs in that. So we'd like to let the material dictate the weight, but also the coloring of it. I mean, like raw stainless is just raw machine stainless is really cool. If you've ever seen them up close, especially with the logo engraved on it, looks awesome. But we have experimented with powder coating some of them. We can do them in any color that way. So you might have seen some of our sparkly blue ones. We had a limited edition run.
Blue gang.
Yeah, so we don't have any immediate plans for it, but I can definitely see ourselves doing a run of 50 or 100 limited ones, maybe red, blue, lime green, whatever. Something cool. If you guys want to see something, let us know. Post on our social media, and every time you ask it, we definitely see it, and it encourages us to maybe do it in a limited run.
I want a red one. That'd be awesome.
We might do a red one.
Be
We might
awesome.
do a red one.
Princess Di, the STI, says everyone goes with an LS swap. That's cheap.
It's easy. It's cheap.
Easily fixable.
You can
Yes.
get parts at any O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Napa.
I don't like cams, all right? That's why I don't have a Subaru.
Yeah.
I think to each their own, but I think we can all agree that an LS and a Subaru does not belong. There are certain cars in LS fits in decently, especially if it's like a drift car,
Like a
race
BRZ.
car, not a
Race
BRZ.
car.
That doesn't, no.
The hammer.
Brian
There's been a-
Escobar at Wreckfest, or Brian Escobar says.
Is that Pablo's son?
It might be.
We better be careful how we answer
Escobar.
this.
Escobar? I think it's Escobar.
Or
But
Scoober.
at Wreckfest in San Jose, someone brought a Coyote Swap 2015 Scion XP.
2005.
That's
What?
wild.
2005, sorry.
What's his
Wow.
ad?
That's
Or what's his
absolutely
tag?
wild.
What's his ad?
It's because you really, I mean,
Bro.
you can buy them as a crate motor, and so you can start them right up on the pallet pretty much. So whatever car you put it in, it'll more or less run with not a whole lot of work. So yeah, I can see that. And more power to them. That's super cool to get in a car like that.
Literally. More power to him.
More power to.
That says Corey.
Any chance you get into radiators? Or
We
cooling?
have definitely talked
Try.
Radiators, but being a U.S. manufacturer, it's really hard to source materials and then justify the labor costs of U.S. welding here for something like that, especially when you take into account the competition. And there's already great ones out there. Koyo radiators, I use those in my cars. They're awesome, and they're at a good price point. We could come in, but our price point would be higher, significantly higher, just because of U.S. manufacturing standards. It just costs more for us to make things.
Let's see. I'm trying to go in order here, guys. I'm sorry if I.
We can bounce
I
around a
mess
little
up.
bit too. I know we got a lot of people on the live session, a lot of questions. Keep asking us. We'll do the oil cap giveaway here relatively soon. What time is it?
5:46.
5:46. Let's call it around 6 o'clock. So another 15 minutes or so, we'll start doing the giveaway for that. I know a lot of people are on it specifically for it.
Cliff Kelly says, cut a 2J in half and double it.
I don't know which rapper Cliff Kelly is.
He's my favorite rapper.
Cliff Kelly, send us your album because
Send me your mixtape.
So yeah, we could do that. There was a guy that put two 2Js together, and I think that was here in Minnesota or Wisconsin. Yeah, he
heard
put
about
two
that.
2Js together. It's wild. I bet if you Google it, you can see it.
It probably is from somewhere where for 7 months out of the year you can't go outside without dying.
But you can put two 2Js together.
You can put two
and
2Js
make
together.
4,000 horsepower. I don't know.
And keep yourself warm welding them together.
This is a motorcycle.
I would like to know if you sell just the axle back. I have the Cobb 3-inch all the way back.
We don't.
Nice.
We do downpipe or J-pipe, and then we do the full catback. And reason being is because we don't want to adapt to someone else's system. We want to have our own system. It's built specifically to sit really high in the car, so if you have a low car, it gets tucked up in there. The flanges are specific to ours. They're nice 3-inch beefy flanges, so we wouldn't build just like an axle back that hooks onto somebody else's exhaust. Not for now anyway. It's not in the plans. We prefer you to get our entire exhaust system and know that it fits.
Good, let me race.
Get in there,
Japanese.
go race. Tony's gonna grab the sticks.
itching.
Oh, so you just
Hey, you
made
can
it
sit
in
on
now.
his lap, Tony.
I'm itching for the sticks, bro.
All right, give him the sticks.
All right, one more question.
One more?
Japanese people want GrimmSpeed, 15,000 yen for GS fender shrouds. Have you thought
Sitting down.
about going international?
I'll get one.
Oh, we are international.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, we actually ship all over the world. Every day we ship something out. I would say our biggest markets are probably Japan, Australia, Canada, obviously they're right there. From Japan specifically, we had Yasu from Liberal Corp come through earlier this year.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
They're
That's his
a
logo.
great company, great people, and he carries a lot of our stuff. So he'll send me pictures every once in a while with fender shrouds in Japan, radiator shrouds, all that kind of stuff. The Japanese people really dig it. The same way we love JDM stuff here, they love USDM stuff over there. So that's good for us.
How do I do this?
Here we go.
What you got, Corey?
We just got some feedback from Josh, our boy Josh Pena.
Josh, pay.
He
Pay,
says,
yeah, pay,
I have to
pay.
say YouTube Live seems to be better quality. IG was kind of spotty and the audio was acting up.
Really, because we're on Wi-Fi, which is great. It usually is pretty good reception on Instagram for us. But it's good to hear that YouTube's running well. So if any of you guys are on Instagram Live, you can hop on our YouTube page, follow the page, hop on our live, and then you'll see kind of a more wide-angle view of us playing Dirt 2.0 here and enjoying beers and pizza and such.
Also, we have 17 watching right now. which is a
17
high.
watching. That's an all-time high.
That's
We've
awesome.
tripled our high. So thank you guys for watching. Obviously, we're gonna do the giveaway pretty soon. But more questions. We love chatting with you. This is our enjoyment. We got done with work about an hour ago, and we're just hanging out. This is our Friday.
Yo, this is intense.
Here's another one.
It's really difficult.
I love that we're getting YouTube questions coming in. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Javier Martinez asks, what is your guys' favorite car to work with in the shop?
Ooh.
Well, tell
Well,
them what we have in the shop first.
yeah, we basically need a generation of Subaru for all the parts that we're making. So we have our 08 to 14 WRX, we have our 08 to 14 STI, we have our 15 plus WRX, and then normally for 15 plus STI we use people that we know in the community here. We did have our BRZ, and we have your FRS if we need fitment testing. A lot of the fitment testing we do is with our employee cars. So if they need a Forester, I'm there. If they need a newer generation STI, we got some guys in assembly that have one. So the funnest one to work on, I would personally say 08 to 14 STI. We have a red hatchback. I think those are maybe not the best generation, but it just makes me smile every time I walk by it because it's the last hatch. And it's red, which is awesome. It's low
Yeah.
mileage. We have some really, really nice cars.
I might be wrong, but did I see that Subaru might be coming out with another hatch?
So Subaru has a Leaderboard. I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Overseas in Europe, they have a hatchback 15 plus WRX essentially. They are coming out with a new facelift version of it. But the US, much like in the past, isn't going to get that. We don't get anything cool, which is wrong. We get a lot of cool stuff, but we didn't used to get cool things. We're starting to get cool things now.
Let's see. Any other items like the lower grille replacements or hood struts need more GS on the car?
Oh, well, what car do you have?
Yeah,
We need to know that. If it's an older generation car, maybe not. If it's something newer, like 15 plus or let's say 08 plus, we have a lot of options already, but we are constantly coming out with new stuff. So a lot of us looking back and seeing, okay, what gaps do we need to fill? Do we not have a radiator shroud for this? Do we not have hood struts for that? And then we usually fill those gaps. So if you don't see it and you kind of a newer generation, it's coming. It's coming eventually.
Let's see. 2016 WX, you said.
Okay, yeah. Hood struts, potentially. They come factory with hood struts, so it's a little bit of a hard sell. Although our hood struts, I don't know what the factory is, like 70 degrees. Ours usually go almost 90. It's like 87 degrees, which is absolutely great. I have it on my car, on my Forester. It makes doing engine work a lot easier. You get more light. I've even pulled the engine transmission without taking the hood off, which is great. So maybe for the 15 pluses, I'd have to talk to the engineers on that one. That's a good question.
I love my hood struts.
Hood struts are, yeah, they're awesome. Corey, did you have any more YouTube questions?
I have a couple.
You got a couple? All right, Glenn, what's
All right.
up?
Kind of answered them through chat, but let's do it.
Yeah, why don't you explain the full
Explain.
line that we got here?
All right.
that
So
Brian
you guys
asked.
sell merch, GrimmSpeed Snapback, and hat would be cool to buy.
Ooh, well, that's a good Corey question. We do have more clothing and hat options as of this year. Our snapback hat, as you see Corey showing off right there, with the GrimmSpeed patch in the front, and it's what do you call it? Mesh style.
Yep.
We have that. We also have our fitted hats. Those are hugely popular, so we've kept those. And we have, for the colder parts of the country, winter style beanies and hats like that. So those are all on the website. You can check them out. They're all really cheap. With our apparel, we tend not to really want to make too much money on it. It's more so, cover the cost and then a couple bucks more, and you could have it for advertising purposes. We want you to rep our gear. And actually, it's weird that you brought that up because in addition to the oil cap giveaway that we're going to be doing in about, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes or
7
so?
minutes.
We do also have a hat and shirt giveaway. This is going to be a surprise.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we'll show this off. So maybe after.
Special one, too.
It is a special one. It's got the embroidered GS logo here. It's a little bit different than the
Are
patch.
those on the website? I don't think they are.
They might not be. I don't know, but some lucky guy's going to get one.
Sneaky,
Or girl.
sneaky. This is really hard.
Can you guys make stuff for Subaru's 2.2 liter engine? I have a 2000 Impreza Outback Sport, and there's basically no aftermarket. I understand why, I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things will fit. Like, we make phenolic spacers that fit, the EJ lightweight crank pulley fits. There's not a ton of stuff we do for it, and that's just because it's an older motor. And I can't blame you for having it. It's an awesome motor. I have a 97 Impreza. It's my winter car, and it's got the 2.2 in it. Awesome motor, one of my favorites, and arguably the 2.2 turbo in the Legacy is one of the best Subaru motors ever made. Maybe. Fight me IRL, is that what people say?
Yes.
Yep.
PvP
Closed deck,
dog.
it's awesome. People make like 500 horsepower on them with stock internals and everything. But yeah, great motor. Just when we're talking about, let's take my car for instance. My Impreza is, I don't know, $400 or $500 tops. You're probably not going to buy a $1,100 exhaust system. You're probably not going to buy an $800 intercooler to adapt with a turbo kit that'll fit on it. So it's just the market's kind of aged out, and that's what happens with every car, more or less, unless it's a really big classic. So there's a couple parts that fit, but there's a reason we don't really go heavy on manufacturing stuff for that motor.
I have a great question. It just came in through Instagram,
Okay.
which might be kind of tough.
I like the tough ones.
What was the biggest GrimmSpeed success and the biggest fail?
Biggest success and fail. So, sales number wise or quantity wise, I'm not sure. I'd have to look back. I should have prepared for this question. One of my favorite successes was the GR WRX intercooler. We did a group buy on that and ended up selling like 240 of them. And when we're talking about a $1,000, $1,100 system to sell that many, I mean, it's a success on our end, but it's also, we're talking about not being the first to entry. So we weren't the very first in the market. You had people that had other aftermarket variations that got rid of theirs 4 hours. And that was just a really successful launch all the way around. So far, or so much so that Japelnik, I can never pronounce their
Jalopnik.
Is it Jalopnik?
Jalopnik.
Okay. Jalopnik wrote an article on it. It's like how a small company sold 200 and some intercoolers overnight. So check that out. That's a cool article. That's from years and years ago. Fails? Oh man, none of our products are fails, I don't think. We really haven't discontinued much. I would say if I were to put something in a fail category, it would be like a limited color. So if we did like a limited red or something, or pink or something like that, and it just didn't sell very many, that would be why. Some limited colors do really well, some don't do as well.
Or something that's related or not related to Subaru.
Yeah, mostly on Subaru parts, because we're so well known for Subaru aftermarket performance parts. If we try something that's like, say we do a Hyundai thermostat, I would put Hyundai thermostat as a bit of a fail. We did that years and years ago when the Genesis came out. We were gonna do more Genesis parts, and that car in general was a little bit of a fail, and so the parts for it kind of went out the door. Thermostat would be my biggest one.
Say for recent successes was the fender shroud,
Fender shrouds are huge.
and we got to eat. How many wings did we eat?
282 wings. So yeah, if you guys didn't
That's
see,
rough.
look back in our Instagram. We did a wing night for the whole company for the amount of fender shrouds we sold for the group buy. It was 282, which is a lot of wings, especially when you factor in some super duper hot ones. Like the guys had to come out and warn us not to eat them before we ordered them. Kind of hot. We handled it.
Can I just pause real quick?
Yes.
Russ just had to say the guy playing Forza is pretty bad at driving.
Well, my car's broken.
Incidentally, he's also bad at driving in real life, not just on the controllers.
No, but here is a. Oh, I do want to make a correction.
Wait, I'm going fast.
The article was not on Jalopnik. It was on Opposite Lock.
No, it was Jalopnik.
Opposite Lock.
I
It's
will-
Jalopnik, I think.
It wasn't Jalopnik. I'll bet on it. I'll bet on it right now in front of our thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of viewers.
I can attest to that. I think it was on Jalopnik.
Bet.
It
I
might
just-
be shared.
It probably was shared.
It doesn't come up when I search it, Jalopnik GrimmSpeed, but it does on Opposite Lock.
I don't know. Lies.
Anyway.
And slander.
I
I
died.
posted it.
Thousands of 17s of viewers.
going.
Let's
Keep
see.
going,
I
Tony.
can't. I can't.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Change your car.
Trevor Robertson
Yeah,
asked
but that's
this
the coolest
twice.
looking one.
Twice.
Yeah, so I need to address
He's
it.
got to ask 3 times.
Will the front mount be available for the GD? I know you don't want to focus on old cheap cars, but you also released a GD intake. And his previous question was, he understands we focus on 08 plus
Okay.
mostly, but
Yeah, and I mentioned that we do some products that are kind of gap fillers. I think the GD intake was a little bit of that. There is, speaking of successes, that was a huge success, which surprised me. I mean, I have the 04 FXT, the same generation that uses that intake, and I was still surprised with how many people bought it, which is great. It's awesome. So we do still like to address the older models. Obviously, the reasons I gave, we don't go all out on it on manufacturing, but in this case, what was the second part of the question? On the second one?
I know you don't focus on old cheap cars, but you made a GD intake.
No, before that. He had a 2-part question.
Well, it wasn't a 2-part question, but he asked it twice.
Okay. Repeat the first part of it.
I know you focus on 08 plus.
No, the other one. He had the other.
What are you asking me?
Go back to his other response.
Will the front mount be available for the GD? I know you don't want to focus
Oh,
on
no.
old cheap
Get
cars.
it, get it,
but you
get
also- Great. Thank you for doing that while I search.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the front mount. The second part of the front mount question was, will it fit the GD, or are we making
No,
one
will we
specifically?
make one for the GD?
Oh, okay. So we kind of, not really. We're specifically going for the 08 plus model, obviously, but we are going to sell the core and end tanks as one unit, so it's more or less universal, and that's more so for let's say race cars, if you have like a 2.5 RS with an STI motor setup, if you have anything, 02 to 07, you can still fit it on there. The piping won't be specifically for that, so you can kind of make it work. A lot of guys do custom race piping. So it's not that we're not showing you any love, we're trying to show love in having a universal type kit. So that's, I don't know, it's kind of a tough question to answer. Yes and no. Did you find the article?
It's not.
It's not. I'm gonna find it.
I promise you.
We're looking for it.
All right. What do we have more YouTube? Do we have more Instagram?
We have more YouTube.
We have way more Instagram too, so you go.
Javier
first.
Martinez.
We'll do.
What do you guys think about the price of the S209 coming to America? Do you think the price is justified just because it is an S209?
I personally,
I think it is.
you think it's justified? That's a
I'm-
lot of money.
So coming from like Volkswagen, like
Ooh, I got a good second.
the R32 is like right around $40,000. I
Mhm.
see that the S209 is better than the R32.
Yeah, but it's also almost $70,000 by the time you
That's
put
what I
in
was saying. It's like
tax.
60 grand.
It's 64, 65,000.
Okay, so then my prices were.
So here's the way I justify it. If you are an older person, you have some money, and you just want like a fast STI that you're not going to do anything with, and it's limited, that's awesome. Pick that one up. You're probably not too worried about the cost. But if you're someone that's going to take a payment out on a car, you're not going into the dealership and paying cash, go buy an STI, go spend 10 grand on performance parts and tuning, and you're going to be right around that same power level, performance-wise, with
Has to.
suspension, everything.
Has to, right?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, depends how hard you want to push it, but it's an awesome car. It's limited. I mean, you're never going to be able to build that specific car and have it one of 209. But you can get damn close for less. So it's not for the average person. It's for the person that probably has 3 other cars and they can go in the dealership and pay cash, which is none of us.
Is there S208? Is it like
Yeah, S207, S207, and S209.
so it goes by year? Or does
There's-
it go by?
Good question. Is it time? Is it that time for the giveaway?
And then I got a real good question after it.
I have a bunch of questions too, so.
Okay. Well, I'm
We
gonna
have 26
need.
people watching now, by the way.
All right, YouTube guys, awesome.
See you.
Thank you. Grab beers. Grab beers.
Here's-
Yes.
That's been the
Okay, grab
theme of the
beers.
show. Like, grab one. Sandra, you have the worst
I'm
cooler
sorry.
hats.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was such a
Okay,
bad
so I
throw.
need someone to bring up Instagram so we can pick a random winner for the oil cap.
Is there more beer in case we run out?
We're not. I don't think we're.
I
gonna
don't. Yeah, we'll get some. We'll make it work. We'll go get the.
Woohoo, Kobe! All right.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is Clinton's gonna pull up our Instagram post for the cap, and then we're gonna choose a random winner in a few minutes. For now, since we have a ton of questions coming in, Sandra, you want to hit me with some more Instagram stuff?
Yes.
And Clinton will keep loading it up. It should be this one. So why don't you just expand all the comments for now, and then we'll do a scroll through. What's up?
Instagram Live is not live.
It's not live.
What do you mean?
It's not live anymore.
Oh,
Wait,
it
shut
dropped.
up.
Go look at the phone.
Okay.
I got it.
Well,
This
yeah.
might be internet issues, so we'll get back on there. If not, hop on our YouTube.
Actually.
How did GrimmSpeed start? Anyone had a GrimmSpeed tattoo?
Oh,
There are some out there, aren't there?
there are many tattoos out
Yeah,
there.
'cause-
Where'd you go?
I'm coming.
So apologies if you're on Instagram Live.
Well, you're not anymore.
Yeah,
You
you-
might not be anymore. I think our internet
I
might
just-
drop this. Well, I'm gonna hold off on answering that question for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, YouTube guys, we've got a brain fart right
Well, we
YouTube
had
is
some
a-
technical difficulties on YouTube. Now it's on Instagram,
YouTube be the real MVP, I guess.
now. I think it's just connection issues. So.
which is weird. We're on our Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna
Do we
take
have
a
full
peek.
bars? Fun.
Yes, we do now.
Okay.
I think it might have been a timeout. Like.
Okay. Get back on it.
Oh,
So
they've been on
Instagram,
too
after a
long.
while of live, times you out. YouTube doesn't do that. As Corey said, you're the real MVP, YouTube. And apparently the quality's better, so that's awesome.
We're so far away over here. I can see why they can't hear us or anything. It's just like a.
Well, we've gotten a ton of Instagram questions, so they must be hearing
That's
us to
true.
some degree. I will answer the question of how GrimmSpeed started. It started with Justin Grimm about 12 years ago now, just out of a garage, 2-car garage. He started doing porting and polishing work, and then eventually his friends came on board and they started doing a little bit of manufacturing work, just really low-level stuff, coding, stuff like that, and it just grew throughout the years. The second part of that question was what, tattoos? Yeah,
tell them about the bounty program we used to have.
Yeah, so we used to have a bounty program, which is essentially it's like a low-level sponsorship program where you buy into it, you get a nice kit with some apparel and stuff, and then you get challenges that you have to do. So let's say you have to do like a donut in your STI, or you have to take a picture with a certain landscape or monument or whatever you want to call it. One of them was get a tattoo, and I think it was like $500 in GrimmSpeed credit, and you would not believe how many people got it. We probably have a dozen people out there with GrimmSpeed tattoos.
Like real big professional tattoos, and then like dirty basement pen ink tattoos.
Prison.
Nothing we would
tats.
recommend. If you're gonna get a tattoo, get it from a certified place, definitely.
But that costs way too much. Save yourself some money. Go downtown in an alley.
Art, are you gonna be giving away tattoos later?
Yeah.
I'll do it. If anyone wants a tattoo, I'll do it. It won't be good. It might be really good. I don't know. I've never tried it.
Have you ever drawn before?
No.
Ooh.
That's why it'll be
No,
so
That was the
good.
first time.
Can you make a tattoo on paint and then?
Oh yeah. I can do that. I just can't turn it. It'll have to be 90
I
degrees.
just can't turn it.
Shells 150 said.
We know Shell's 150. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I would have got it, but better come with the sponsorship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sponsorship tattoos. We should make it mandatory. If you want to be sponsored by GrimmSpeed, you have to have a forehead tattoo.
It's a lifer situation.
Yeah. Blood in, blood out. That's GrimmSpeed.
Ooh.
That's why our color's red.
Yeah, no.
All the
Do we have?
employees'
Is it
blood.
back up?
It's back up.
It seems like Instagram Live's going back up. Sorry if you guys got dropped. Maybe our internet connection. We have Clinton looking at tattoos, prison tattoos.
I'm looking at GrimmSpeed tattoos, but I don't
Why'd
see
you type in prison tat then?
Hey Clinton, are you on Instagram right now?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say all of your old comments just deleted. I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry because of the connection. I remember one from way back when we first started. How did GrimmSpeed start?
Oh, we already went over
We
it.
just
We were in the
answered that.
bathroom the entire time. I'm surprised he didn't hear us.
Oh.
I practically yelled it. So, more questions. Roll them in. I won't redo that one. But we do need to pick a winner.
Okay.
Do you have?
Uh,
So while Clinton's getting that Instagram back up, now that we're back on live,
Am I scrolling or?
we're gonna have to take all the bias out of it. We're gonna have you scroll without looking, and then we're gonna have Corey pick the winner.
Ooh, do that. So I'm holding the phone up right now. I'm starting at the top. I'm gonna scroll down.
You scrolling, Corey. You ready for it? Once you're done typing, and this is what we're all waiting for the giveaway. It is the new Delrin version 2 oil cap. You guys on YouTube can probably see it a little bit better than Instagram, but Instagram you can see the pictures as well on our last couple of posts. And we're gonna give this away to a lucky fan. All right, I think that's enough scrolling.
Are you sure?
Probably. I think that's good.
I
You
don't know
probably
where I'm at.
went off of the post already. All right, Corey.
Just bring it to my finger.
It's very scientific here.
That's a.
Okay.
All right, who's the winner?
Okay. Sammy Alapur.
Sammy Alapur.
How do you spell it?
What?
SAMMY.
I recognize that name. He's-
Yeah.
I think he's one of our big fans, which is awesome. If you're a huge fan of ours,
SAMMYALIPOUR.
awesome.
Go check
So,
him out.
Sammy, we're gonna DM you here and send you out this oil cap. So, congratulations! Thanks for entering the contest, and for all of you that didn't win, we got another one. We got a second oil cap. Oh, so we're gonna get another one, guys. So you can't leave. You can't leave yet. And we're also doing the shirt and hat giveaway too. So we'll put that up here. But Sammy, congratulations. We'll send that out to you.
I see you, Eric. I see you out there. No, it's not related to this. but-
Hey,
I
guys.
thought there was a person outside.
Yeah, I was
There might be a person outside. Okay, do
Hey,
we
can I
have
have-
some more questions?
Yeah, we got one here from Corey Mazenga. Can I have another beer?
The answer is, can you email support@grimmspeed.com? We'll go ahead and take care of that in 3 to 4 business days.
3 to 4 business days.
Dude,
Hey, my
$3
car's broken.
What are you talking about?
Go.
My
Okay.
car's broken.
Have we started getting questions
Why are
back
you
in,
in
on Instagram? Okay.
Yes,
Get the-
Dad.
Get the 600 horsepower STI.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
then let me go to
Yeah.
free room and blow.
Yeah, we're
up.
gonna be in Higgins' STI for this.
Ooh.
Mm.
We've met Higgins a handful of times at the
Yeah.
Subi
Can you
events.
trust me with
Here's a
the
fun fact.
car on the internet?
In Dirt Rally 2.0, Higgins' car sound is accurate to that of his car sound in real life.
It's true.
Really? Oh, that's
The game
crazy.
is
Yes.
very accurate.
I got
It's
stuck in
very
like all the
accurate.
old cars in the back.
It's the first time
Thanks,
I've ever
bro.
been like,
This-
yeah, that's actually
Sounds
right.
exactly like it.
I have a question on
Blow this thing up.
YouTube. Do you guys have plans for oil dipsticks and clutch caps?
No, we do not. That's a product that I'm pretty confident I can say is not on our to-do list. I'm not really sure why. Maybe because there's already a handful of companies doing it. We don't really want to step on their feet. But it hasn't really been on the plans. I'll talk to our engineers, see if they have a good reason.
Not a
Maybe they
bad
just haven't
one.
thought of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a dipstick wouldn't be bad.
No.
I don't know if they're like Volkswagens, but do they get old and crack? Like,
No, Subaru dipsticks are usually good, and they're sort of,
This thing is
I mean,
so
you can
fast.
kind of call it hidden in there. You don't really see them all that much. So I think most people just don't upgrade, but that doesn't mean there's not a market for them. I mean, all EJ motors use pretty much the same dipstick, so there could be
What
something
could we
for
do
it.
differently with the dipstick that would set us apart?
Electronic dipstick.
Ooh.
Boom.
Yeah.
You have to tune your car for the dipstick, and then it'll tell you how much oil you're losing as you drive the car.
Or
That would be
just
cool.
one that. No, that wouldn't work.
Hey,
We
you
might
just-
be able to do
you
something
just
cool.
put out an idea, somebody might steal it.
I know. We gotta keep the ideas in the wraps.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay, what do you have, Sandra?
Okay, so Princess Di, the STI, I think this was an old question, you just copy and pasted, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Do governing bodies play a role in the products offered by GrimmSpeed and how you distribute them? Or do you retain a current certain level of liability that prevents that?
Wow.
So-
I feel like I'm a debate.
I
about
think,
this.
I think we should hire this
We need
person.
to hire this person.
We got,
Yeah.
we got a government official in here.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the government does step into what we're doing quite often to some degree. Right now, we're dealing with a lot of EPA type stuff. So ever since Greta got online and yelled at us for ruining the environment, the EPA is coming down on manufacturers that are doing exhaust work, especially. So. Being a U.S. manufacturer, it makes it a lot easier for us than other manufacturers, other companies that do majority of their work overseas, because not only are there tariffs like in China, as you may have heard, but also manufacturing practices and standards are just different. So when you import stuff in here, it becomes a lot more of a headache than if you build and assemble everything in the United States. And so we don't have to deal with it as much, but yeah, when we're shipping, let's say internationally to Australia, to Canada, to wherever, some things become an issue. I know to like Middle Eastern countries we've shipped before, and there are some that are just sanctioned where you can't ship it over there, so you have to ship it to a different country, and then it has to go via like a ground shipping company into the next country, and so on and so forth. So it can get a little complicated. I mean, it's not as bad as some other companies have it though. So we're fortunate.
Do you guys have in-house engineering?
Of course we do. We got an engineering team in-house. That's who creates all of the great products that you guys see. So everything that is GrimmSpeed has been made inside either this facility or our old shop, or before that, our even older shop. So yeah, all of this stuff is made by car enthusiasts for car enthusiasts. That's a good way to say
That
it.
could be our new slogan.
It should be. It should definitely be.
Isn't there a slogan that's kind of like that?
That's just a very generic slogan.
There
that's
is
what
a
I'd say.
slogan though like that, I feel like. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it is, but.
FUBU, for us by you.
Ah.
Do you have a sim
For us,
setup
by
for dirt?
us.
What is that?
Do we have a what?
A sim setup for
A
dirt.
sim setup.
No.
So a simulator with. a
Do you
steering
work
wheel.
for a sim
Yes.
company? Sponsor us.
Yes, hook us up with a free
Yes.
sim.
I'm really
Everyone
bad at
gets-
this. I need all the help I
Everyone
can
gets a
get.
sim. We don't, otherwise we'd be using it. Also, it'd probably be a little bit more difficult to set up in this environment, but at home,
We can do it, Art.
if they send us one,
If they send us
if
one,
they
we
send
can
us
do
one,
it.
we're doing it.
I'm just
Don't
going
worry
off
about it.
jumps and stuff.
Okay, maybe one of you youngsters would understand this question.
You're the
We got
youngest
some
person
good
here.
You are the
Yeah, I was gonna
youngster.
say.
Yup.
Can I get a your?
A year.
That's
does
that
a
Cardi
year
B
mean?
thing.
You mean a yeet?
You do it all the time at home. No, the other one.
Get a roller.
I don't know.
No, what's the
One-
Cardi B thing? That
What does everyone think about Cardi B being in the
Yeah.
next Fast and Furious movie? That's something we should really talk about.
I hope
Fast
she-
and Furious 9 is featuring Cardi B.
I hope she drugs Dom.
No.
What I think we
no,
should do
no.
is answer this question. What are you guys looking forward to at the first annual Subi Fest 4 that's here?